I don't usually record videos for very common topics like this because there's so many already, but for my students I like to produce what I think is a very clear, simple way of factorising quadratics with a clear message, and then I use some very specific examples afterwards just to teach some of the edge cases earlier than I think other teachers do because I think it makes you understand it better. Okay, was that all gobbledygook? Doesn't matter, you're probably already looking at the screen anyway, and we're just going to do some stuff, you're going to learn some stuff. Okay, right, so suppose you've got x squared plus 5x plus 6. I'm basically going to redo what I've just written up there. Suppose I want to factorise it. Oh, it's an x squared. And I've ordered it with an x squared and then an x and then just a number because I like to have it in that order. And I just know that I can do some brackets like this and it kind of works. I'm going to put an x and an x in the front because I know that looking at the blue lines on the above one, the x times the x makes the x squared. And then I need to make the right hand side work. So the 3 and the 2, when multiplied together, make 6. If this is very new, it may still not make sense. Don't worry, hang on in there. And then the third thing is you just make sure that the other bits multiplied together make 5x. Okay, we're going to do examples. Best way to learn. That was an overview. Right. Let's factorise this. I'm just going to go for it. I'm assuming you might have paused it if you want to have a go on your own. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to factorise it and then I'm going to expand it afterwards, and then hopefully that will really help you understand what's going on. So I've done x times x here, which makes the x squared. I'm going to put two pluses. It's not always two pluses, but for these simpler examples it's going to be. We'll write a 2 and a 1 because 2 times 1 makes 2. And then finally, we're going to make sure that we also get a 3x. But how are we going to do that? We're going to expand. Let's immediately do an expand question. And this might be the thing that you wanted to see if you're doing this almost for the first time. Because you're like, I don't care about factorising. I don't even know what the brackets mean. Well, we're now going to learn and go through it. Basically, this object here at the front is going to multiply by everything in the other bracket. So we get x squared plus 2x. And then this also gets multiplied by everything in the other bracket. So that would be plus, well, 1 times x is x, and then 1 times 2 is 2. And then we can just simplify that because those middle two terms become 3x. Oh, look, it's worked. Okay. So what was going on here? What was going on was, up here, I was trying to work backwards. I was going, okay, well I needed to make this, so I had to have an x times an x. And I needed to make this, so I needed a 1 times a 2. And then I checked by expanding it, which is a common approach if you're learning. Oh, and it worked! Hooray! Brilliant. You might be thinking, oh, what a pain, I have to learn another weird thing. Well, yes you do, but it's not as weird as it might seem. Remember there's an imaginary times sign in there. So our maths kind of grammar, the way we write other things, it makes sense that these are multiplied together, so it makes sense that everything in the first bracket is multiplied by everything in the second bracket. I think it kind of makes sense. Let's do another example. I'll start speeding up now. Oh, so definitely I think have a go at this in your own time, if this is all very new. I'm going to start expanding it. Remember, with all my videos, if you're if you think the video is a bit easy, you can always do it and you can always watch the video without pausing and just try and do your working at the same speed as me. But careful, only do that if you're getting really confident. You might still pause sometimes. What I've done is I've just drawn my lines, which I like to draw, showing what things are getting multiplied together. So that generates 4 terms, which I can then simplify to give x squared plus 12x plus 20. So that's what we were looking for there. This is one where we have to work backwards. I'm going to do my two sets of brackets just because I've recognised that it's an x squared and I've got it in a nice order with the three different terms. Right, so a times a makes a squared. What makes 4? Oh my goodness. It's either 1 times 4 or it's 2 times 2. And if you were to rewatch this video, you'd notice I did this on the first page as well, but I didn't talk about it at the time. So it's either a 2 and a 2 or a 1 and a 4. I'm going to put a 1 and a 4 because I think that's what it is. Because I'm thinking ahead that I need to make the 5. But I'm still going to check because I might have got confused. So I'm going to expand it just to check the answer. Maybe you want to have a pause the video and have a go expanding it after I've just written this out. There, so maybe pause it now and have a go. That would be a squared plus a times 4 makes 4a plus 1 times a makes a plus 1 times 4 makes 4, which is a squared plus 5a plus 4. Excellent. So that answer was correct, but it was good to do the check. Got 3 more to go. Let's have a go at factorising this one. Oh wait, there's no squared. There's no squared. Oh, because I always like to do this. Just a little reminder. You might have to just do, if you see the word factorise, it can mean 2 different things. It might just mean that thing where you take some numbers out and you just have one lot of brackets, like this. So just look out for that. Anyway, back to the thing we're kind of learning in this video. Pause the video if you like and have a go. So this has got the x squared, so it is 2 sets of brackets. Well, it's got the x squared and it's got a term in the middle and it's got a term at the end. That's why we're using 2 lots of brackets. So it's an x and an x. Has to be, because how else can you make x times x? Oh wait, how do you make 1? There's only one way of making 1, which is 1 times 1. Because remember, we're multiplying everything together because there's an imaginary times sign in the middle. So it's 1 times 1. So, I mean, personally, I'm confident that that's correct, but you might still want to expand it out just to be sure if you like. Let's do the last one. Do you know what? Well, have a go at this. This is another one where I would be so confident, because I've been doing maths for a long time, that I knew what the answer was straight away. Because there's only one possibility. How do you make 11x squared? Well, that'd have to be 11x times x. Because 11 is a prime number. There's only one way of making a prime number. So just put an 11 in front of one of them, just leave the other one. And that makes 11x squared. And then how do you make 1? Well, it's got to be 1 times 1. That's it. If you're happy, you might leave the video now. I'm just going to go through and just show for sure how that works, in case you're still wondering a bit. What I usually find is sometimes people get a bit confused because it's an unusual way of laying something out. If you haven't seen it before, you can start forgetting that almost everything is just being times, and you start accidentally adding stuff. So let's not do that. Let's stay focused and we're just timesing. So it'll be 11x times x plus 11x times 1 plus 1 times x. So I'm just really spelling it out here. This is just in case you really wanted to see this because you weren't quite sure what's happening. 11x times x, that's 11x squared. 11x times 1, that's 11x. 1 times x, that's x. And 1 times 1, that's 1, which means we can simplify to 11x squared plus 12x plus 1.